This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Mariam Vijayaratna. Let's have a look at the headlines first. World Bank and S&P ranks Port of Colombo as best in South Asia. Software developer Evis refutes state sector allegations. News in detail. The Port of Colombo has been ranked as the most efficient port in South Asia and the Indian subcontinent, third in the Indian Ocean Rim and 22nd among 370 ports globally in the second edition of the Global Container Port Performance Index 2021. The Global Container Port Performance Index 2021 ranking was developed by the World Bank and S&P Global Market Intelligence and Financial Services. The executive summary to the report communicates that how a maritime port performs is a crucial element in the cost of international trade in a country. Unfortunately, ports and terminals, particularly for containers, can often be sources of shipment delays, supply chain disruptions, additional costs, and reduced competitiveness. It further states that despite the centrality of the port to global value chains, one of the major challenges to stimulating improvement has been the lack of a reliable, consistent and comparable basis on which to compare operational performance across different ports. The technical report, which represents the second edition of the Container Port Performance Index, has been produced by the Transport Global Practice of the World Bank in collaboration with the Maritime Trade and Supply Chain Division of S&P Global Market Intelligence. Commenting on the Port of Colombo's ranking in the CPPI, Sri Lanka Ports Authority Chairman Dr. Prasantha Jayamana stated that the ranking of Colombo among the top 7 of the ports in the world and the best in South Asia is a testament to the port's position as the primary transshipment hub in South Asia. Chairman Jayamana also cited that the ranking acknowledges the significant role played by partner terminals, Colombo International Container Terminal and South Asia Gateway Terminals, in addition to Jaya Container Terminal. The chairman added that future expansion of the Port of Colombo through the construction of the deep water terminals, East Container Terminal and West Container Terminal will add over 7 million TEUs of throughput capacity over the next 2 to 5 years. The Port of Colombo recorded an all-time throughput high of 7.25 million TEUs in 2021 and continues to grow, recording a year-on-year growth of 2% in the first 5 months of 2022 ending in May. Port terminals at present offer almost 4,500 meters of quay with depth ranging from 12 to 18 meters. These are served by 47 ship-to-shore cranes and over 130 hectares of yard space. The Port Authority, in addition to its role as regulator and landlord, holds 15% equity stake in the 2 private terminals, CICT and SAGT. The Committee on Public Enterprises yesterday revealed that over 600 million rupees has been spent on an inventory software for medical stocks at the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation and that the system cannot be operated smoothly by SPC officials. Recordings from the CORP meeting are freely available online, and the failure of not having an inventory of medicine for the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation was passed on to the private firm which built the software.
ඒ කියන සිස්ටම් එක දැනටමත් තියෙනවා. අපි මිලියන 500කට ආසන්න ගාණක් වීදම් කළා මේ අදට පවතින සිස්ටම් එක මේ යනවා. දැන් මෙතන තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ මේ සිස්ටම් එකේ ප්‍රශ්නේ නෙවෙයි data enter නොකිරීමේ ප්‍රශ්නේ.
මට කියන්න අවුරුදු 7ක් තිස්සේ මේක data enter කරන්නේ මොකද කියලා?
ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකේ තියෙන පහසුකම් පාවිච්චි කරන්න බෑ.
දැන් මිලියන් 500ක් වියදම් කරලා සිස්ටම් එකක් හැදුවයි කියලා ඔඩිටර් ජෙනරල් කිව්වානේ.
පරණ සිස්ටම් එක.
හරි දැන් ඒක කොයි කාලෙද හදලා තියෙන්නේ?
2008 විතර තමයි පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. 15 තමයි ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් උනේ.
8 ඉඳන් 15 අවුරුදු 7ක් තිස්සේ මේක හැදුවා.
ඒක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් උනේ 8.
කවුද ඒකේ මේ කවුද සප්ලයර්?
මිලියන 644ක් මේ වෙනකොට වියදම් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ ඊට අමතරව මාසයකට 5 මිලියන් මේන්ටෙනන්ස් චාර්ජස් මේකට ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට අවුරුද්දකට මිලියන 60ක් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ.
දැනුත්
ඒ වැඩ කරන්නේත් නැහැ.
නමුත් ඒක අපිට අවශ්‍ය විදිහට නැහැ.
මම කියන්නේ මේ මිලියන 5ත් එක්ක මේක අප්ග්‍රේඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඔය කියන රික්වයර්මන්ට්
එක අප්ග්‍රේඩ් කරන්න ගියොත් එහෙම මුළු අපි හිතන සිස්ටම් එකට මිලියන 7000 ගානක් ඕන වෙනවා මුළු මේ 1159ටම දාන්න.
The private firm which developed the so-called software for the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation refutes all allegations brought by the officials. Addressing the media in Colombo this morning, EV's chairman and CEO Sanjeeva Wickramanayake said that they have not only written to the CORP committee but are also seeking legal action against the state officials.
The allegation was that we have got 500 million estimated, somebody said 640 million, but the actual figure is 223 million, but the software included, it is only 83 million software we have charged in 2008. And there was another allegation that made that we have been collecting from government from 5 million as services, maintenance from 2015. That's what indicate, and we totally refuse. We have not got paid anything like that, other than what is contractually, which both parties have agreed. In 2017, after acceptance, warranty was over in 2020, October 23rd. From that day, from November, and they are supposed to, according to the contractual agreement which we signed in 2008, that software system maintenance they have to pay us 1.5 million a month, hardware system, software maintenance and outstation 677 odd rupees, and connectivity network maintenance for 83 location 2.7 million, and totally it comes to about 4.9 million approximately. We don't believe in what they said. The system is working. They say from the 2015 the system doesn't work, but 2018 they connected 68 hospitals to the new system. In 2019 62 hospital was connected live. So totally today, as far as we know, we are maintaining 230 location island wide. Then the last thing that they were talking about, 7,000 million rupees have estimated to upgrade this system. I'm very sorry that I have never given, or we have never given that kind of figures to anybody. Neither they have asked from us. But if somebody asks me, if that cost that much? No. We know that it doesn't cost that much. So how much you might ask? We need to estimate what kind of license they are looking at and what kind of scope that they are talking about, and number of computers and UPSs. We have already written to CORP and the CORP chairman, and we have clarified all the figures are wrong what the officials were given to you, and we have asked for a time and a date to explain further more about this system. And if you ask me, this system working? Yes, system is working as far as we know. What we have done on the legal side, yes, we have gone and spoken to our legal people and the company, and they are also working for defamation of making, but unfortunately damage is done. But still we try to look for seeking legal advice and legal, because I don't want this type of things to happen for another company.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
highlights, updates and opinions. This is Wake Up with Ali.
Welcome back after the break. The Prime Minister, engaging with the joint chambers yesterday, expressed that the government seeks to secure around $5 billion in funding this year to cover credit line purchases and another $1 billion to bolster foreign reserves. The nation is grappling with its worst financial crisis in over 7 decades, with a severe foreign exchange shortage that has left it struggling to pay for essential imports including food, fuel, fertilizers and medicines. Sri Lanka's foreign exchange reserves stood at $1.81 billion in April. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who took office last month, has raised taxes to expand government revenue and planned steep cuts on expenditure in interim budget to be presented within the weeks. The bailout package with the International Monetary Fund, discussion on which the Prime Minister's office says would conclude by the end of the month, could potentially enable the government to borrow at least $3 billion via the lender's extended fund facility. According to the statement from the Prime's office, and bridging financing will also on the agreement with the IMF. So far, Sri Lanka has received 2 credit lines worth $1.5 billion from India for fuel and essential imports. There are also talks on another $500 million credit line to fund fuel imports. Sri Lanka is also asking other countries for help, including Japan, with which it shares long-standing commercial ties. However, relations with Tokyo, which has also been a key lender, cooled after the $1.5 billion light railway project, largely funded by Japan, was cancelled in 2020. The Premier expressed through his office that any significant assistance from Japan can only be expected after these damaged relations are repaired and their confidence is regained. The total revenue earned by all 14 BOI zones and other BOI related companies last year was around $1,400 million in the first 3 months of 2021. This year it has increased to around $1,650 million, which is a growth of 11% as against the previous year. Secretary to the Free Trade Zone Manufacturers Association, Dhammika Fernando, said that the big BOI-based companies have not witnessed a major drop in orders and this trend is expected to continue. The Secretary commented that the association expects BOI enterprises to bring in around $1 billion more than the previous year by the end of 2022. However, Secretary Fernando cited that the SME sector is witnessing a dip in orders, especially in apparel and other sectors, which he attributes to import restrictions, high freight charges and logistic issues. Meanwhile, the association's president Jatinda Biala says that there are plans to increase the electricity tariff for large consumers like free trade zone manufacturers by a factor 3. The association's president maintains that this will have a major negative impact on exporters as they will lose their competitive edge in the global market. BOI enterprises are the largest source of foreign currency for the country. This amounts to about 70 to 80% of the country's foreign income. BOI enterprises are currently going through a tough time in terms of continuing operations in the country, and the difference in return on equity is negatively impacting their business entities, particularly as the effect cascades down the entire supply chain. Secondly, the installation of solar panels on the rooftops of manufacturing plants is indeed a good idea. However, this measure does not harness even half of the required energy due to the limited roof capacity, lack of availability and exorbitant costs. Therefore, the association believes that the intended proposal for an increase in electricity tariffs should take into consideration many aspects, particularly foreign direct investment facilitation and conditions in neighboring countries. The Free Trade Zone Manufacturers Association has written to the Minister of Power, Kanchana Wijesekara, on the proposed electricity tariff hikes as it could hobble an industry generating $5 billion in annual revenue. The Hotels Association of Sri Lanka yesterday said the latest issue for the industry is inability to offer beverages listed on the menu due to the shortage of imported liquor. The government on the 9th of March imposed restrictions on 369 items via an extraordinary gazette. This included liquor. While these restrictions were relaxed earlier this week, its impact is detrimental and will be felt in the coming months. The Hotels Association President M. Shanti Kumar, speaking to the media, expressed that the import restrictions prevented the sourcing of key ingredients for service promoted by the sector, with liquor being one of them. Global freight delays have pushed the import time from 4 months to 6 months. Thus, easing of restrictions will not help resolve the tourism sector's immediate problem in procuring liquor. While the Hotel Association chief welcomes the move by the Finance Ministry to relax restrictions, he holds that worries remain with regard to services during the coming winter season. Further on Wednesday, as per the customs notification issued by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, the import surcharge on beverages such as beer, wine, spirits and other liquors has been increased by 100%. This translates to a substantial hike in the prices of alcoholic beverages offered in the menus of tourist and hospitality establishments, surpassing regional peers. Therefore, the Hotels Association is looking into negotiate concession with the Tourism Ministry while keeping in mind the nation's need for foreign exchange. According to the Imported Alcohol Beverage Association, 80% of all imported alcoholic beverages are consumed at SLTDA-approved licensed locations, wine stores located in the vicinity of hotels and restaurants. The tourism industry brings in nearly $20 million from liquor sales per annum. We'll be right back with the stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 44.74 points to close at 8,054.77, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 24.05 points to close at 2,647.67. The turnover was 1.3 billion rupees and over 80 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all we have for tonight. Have a great weekend. Good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.